Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, a couple of videos ago, somebody actually commented saying they would really like me to do a video on my teaching career and kind of how I got to where I am today. And I was like, oh my god, that's such a good idea, you know. Now, I just want to put it out there, I am nowhere near where I want to be. You know, I've got progress to make. But seeing as this person really wanted this video, I thought, why not, you know, there's probably some of you guys that might find it helpful or interesting too, to see kind of the stepping stones of how I've got to where I am today. So, if you didn't know, I'm a dancer and a dance teacher, of course, but I've danced my whole life and it's something that I've always had a massive passion for. I went to dance college and made the decision to leave when I was 18. And that was kind of when my teaching career properly took off, if that makes sense. I left and my mental health was very, very poor at the time, and I knew deep down that becoming a dancer was just unachievable, and I was in the completely wrong mindset. I was not okay, if I'm honest. I was really not okay. So I decided to take a few months out because I just completely lost my passion. I was also ill from flu at this point too for the second time, so that wasn't helping matters, so I couldn't train anyway. So I took those few months out and then I decided I'm going to create my own company. I just had this spark in my brain one day. So I'm now going to take you through the years because I feel like that's going to be the easiest way to talk about this. But I'm just giving you that little bit of information first because I feel like that's an important part in this. So I started assisting when I was 13. I had DOV, which was the Duke of Edinburgh Award, where you basically do a really long hike. It was horrible, for me anyway, I didn't enjoy it. And you had to do a volunteering activity, and I chose assisting at my local dance school. So I used to assist on a Friday night, for 3 hours with a lovely, lovely dance teacher, and she is probably one of the reasons today where I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm still teaching, because I looked up to her so much. I was like, I want to be like you. I really want to be like you. Like, I thought she was amazing at what she did, and all the kids loved her, and I was like, wow. So I did that from the age of 13 to 15, and then at the age of 15 I actually got granted a position of becoming a dance teacher's assistant, like an actual job rather than just me volunteering. So throughout those 2 years I gained so much experience and information, you know. I used to make notes in class, because obviously we were teaching syllabus work at the time, and I was really trying to remember it, like remember kind of how the placements of the body should be, etc., and stuff like that for little kids, because obviously I was at a much higher level than them because I was 13, 14, 15 and they were like 3. So yeah, I used to make notes and stuff and try and get the best out of it, you know. So when I was granted this position, it was like a dream come true. I was so grateful and happy for this opportunity. So I then started assisting on a Saturday morning for 4 hours at my local dance school, and I loved it. I started covering quite a few classes then, when the teacher wasn't in, which was obviously really, really helpful for the dance studio, and helpful for me too because I gained so much more experience from that too, and obviously learning the syllabus work and stuff was really, really handy. So I did that from the age of 15 to 17, I want to say. We did show work, we did exams, like I knew how the kids were meant to look for going into an exam, you know, like when they're ready to go in, stuff like that. So it was all really, really great. And then I left there and I then went to college. So I started college whilst I was still there, obviously, but then I ended college and then I went to Performers, which is a professional dance college, if you didn't know. So the college I went to beforehand was like kind of like a pre-vocational course. It was 2 years. It was the most amazing times of my life. I learned so much from them, and then I knew at that point that I wanted to become a dancer, hence why I went to professional dance college. My passion had grown massively, and I all of a sudden like started believing in myself that I could become a professional dancer. You know, I wanted to be on the West End, I wanted to be in music videos, I wanted to be in every single dance job under the sun. So I went to Performers, and I also then switched teaching jobs. So then I went to a local theatre school to me, which I'd never been to before. I didn't even know it was a thing, to be honest. This opportunity came round really strangely, right? So I went into the hairdressers one day to ask for a summer job, just like sweeping the floors, you know, washing people's hair, etc. And the hairdresser in there actually owned the theatre school too, and she was like, oh my god, once she saw my CV, she knew that I'd be better off at the theatre school. So then I had my trial there, you know, it was so much fun, and I fell in love with the place and the people that I was teaching with too. So obviously the place was a lot different to my dance school that I was teaching at, because they only did dancing there at the time, and at the theatre school they did dancing, drama and singing, and I was like, whoa, like this is cool. So I ended up getting the position of a dance teacher's assistant there. So I teach the ages between 6 and 18, and then I also managed to become the minis teaching assistant, which was ages 4 to 6, which was so much fun. You know, I loved the people I worked with. I mean, I still work with them now. I don't know what I'm talking about it like that. But yeah, I still work there now. So this is a very exciting new experience, and I was working with people that were in the industry, and I looked up to them a lot, and they were constantly booking jobs and stuff, and I was like, wow, like I want to be like you, like as a dancer, as they obviously just taught that on the side. So I then went to Performers whilst I was teaching here, and then I obviously left, as I spoke about at the beginning. And I continued to teach here, and my love just grew for it even more. I was teaching non-syllabus work, because at this theatre school we don't teach the syllabus work, it's just free work, which is really, really nice, because the kids just do all different styles every week, and they just love life. Like, they love life. So yeah, I then left Performers, continued teaching there, and then that's obviously when I knew that becoming a dancer wasn't going to be achievable at this point in time. And I'm not going to lie, it's still not achievable right now, but hopefully in a couple of months I'll be able to start training again, which is very exciting. I'm getting there, I'm really getting there. But I knew that I was mentally stable enough to be able to teach and inspire others, because that is what I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to inspire others, to make a good impact on the younger generation, and just spread my passion for it, because dance has been a massive part of my life, and it's helped me through a lot too, and I feel like it can also help others through a lot. And I put the task upon myself to, I guess, inspire others, create a positive community, and allow people to just dance for fun. When you're at dancing school, I feel like there's always a lot of competition, and there's always syllabus work to be learnt, and pressure to pass exams, and all that sort of thing. And don't get me wrong, it was fun, you know, I had 16 years at a dancing school and I loved it, you know, and I wouldn't change it for the world. But for some people, that is just not what they want to do, and there aren't many places where you can just dance for fun without a syllabus. So in April, after I had a couple of months out of just like chilling and getting myself half well, I was like, I'm gonna do a dance class. I'm just gonna teach a dance class and see what happens. So I ended up booking a room and publicising it. Is that even the right word, publicising? I don't know. I guess making people aware of the fact that I was teaching this dance class and I'd love for as many people to come, and that it was new and I was very excited for it. And I had 35 people on the books at the time wanting to try this new dance class, and I was like, wow, what the hell. But then I needed to realise that all these people, they weren't going to come, you know. There's certain people there that were just like saying it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't trust everyone to say they will come to a dance class, especially when it's like the first one and people don't know what to expect. So I made sure I had at least 15 out of those 35 that I knew were going to come and that I knew were loyal to me. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to make that sound harsh. So I got to the room on the day and people started coming in. I was like, oh my god, like most of these people I'd never even met before, and they just kind of like knew me through Instagram, which is crazy. And I had about 17 people, I think, in the end at this class, and everybody really enjoyed themselves. We had an absolute blast. I was nervous as hell. Oh my god, I've never felt nervous like it. But after that class and such good feedback that I had, I was like, I'm going to start my own company. I'm going to do it. Like, what do I have to lose? Nothing. So I thought of a name and I ended up calling it PS Dance because PS is my initials. And from then on it's been PS Dance, and I decided to book the room still, the same room, for May, every single Tuesday, and just see what happened. And I had people booking and booking and booking on, and I was like, wow, like this is great, this is so great. So I ended up doing a different style class every single week because I feel like that was best, because I didn't know what people wanted at the time. And obviously people have different like tastes of dance, and some people won't want to do contemporary whereas others will love it. Whereas I love everything, so I don't really mind what I teach. I obviously have my favourites, but I will teach anything. So I did a different style every single week, and at one point I had 28 people in a class, and it really took off, and that's when I knew that this was meant to be, and I was like, wow, okay, I can grow this. Like, I can grow this community. And throughout this time, all I wanted was to just grow this little community of like positivity, like passion, I guess, and just enjoyment. Like, I wanted people to come to my classes and enjoy themselves. I didn't want a room with mirrors because I thought people would just judge each other. They would judge themselves, and mirrors aren't always great in a dance class. And to this day I still teach without mirrors, and I actually prefer it. So yeah, that kicked off in May, and then I continued to do the same from June to July, and then obviously we broke for summer. And during that summer period I was like, okay, I really want to do a show. Like, I really want to do a show. I've taught for 3 months flat out. I want to do a show. As you do, you know. It wasn't the most sensible idea, I can't lie. Like, I feel like looking back on it now, I should have waited a few more months. However, I wouldn't change it for the world. Like, I am so excited for this show. I have the most amazing girls on board, and it's just heaps of fun. So we started show work in September, and I wanted to make sure that people can still come to my classes even if they aren't in the show, because I still want to keep getting that audience wider, you know. So people still came to my classes, and the girls have been working so hard, and we finished 9 show numbers. Like, it's pretty crazy. And the show's gonna be in January, so we've got another 2 and a bit months, and then that's it, and then it's showtime. And it's gonna be a showcase rather than a show, because I feel like a show is like a massive production, you know, whereas this, we're putting so much energy and effort into it. You know, we're gonna have costumes and makeup and hair, and it's going to be really, really nice. But the girls are just dancing on a little stage, and I want it to be quite casual because some girls have never done a show before, and I feel like it's important for them to feel comfortable dancing on a stage in front of an audience. So we're doing a little showcase, and I'm just buzzing. I'm so excited. So that is kind of like the transition that I made to get to where I am today, building a showcase with my students. So a couple of questions that I get asked on the regular are, what things do you need to become a dance teacher? And the only things you really need is obviously a lot of knowledge and a lot of training yourself, because you can't teach somebody something half-heartedly, and you also can't teach somebody something that you don't know much about, if that makes sense. So I've been reading up about the anatomy on the body, I've been reading up about different styles and like making sure I'm teaching the right technique, because I've always been taught the right technique, and it's important for me to share that with the girls, because otherwise giving somebody the wrong technique is not the right way to go. So that's my first thing. My second thing is you would need a DBS check. I've had one for years because I've been teaching for quite a few years now, or assisting. So you need that to work with children, and you also need public liability insurance if you're going to have your own classes, because if damage happens, if somebody injures themselves, you know what I mean, it basically, you need to have it, like, it's a staple. And some people ask me, how are you teaching without teaching qualifications? Now, you only need teaching qualifications for if you're teaching syllabus work, to be honest, in that exam board. And I'm not currently teaching syllabus work. I'm teaching dance classes for fun. I'm not training them up to go into the industry. The girls that come to me because they want to have fun. They want to reduce their stress of schoolwork. They want to meet new people. They want to just learn a new skill. Some girls that come to me have never danced before. So I do it for fun, so I don't need teaching qualifications. But it might be something that I will look into in the future. I haven't yet decided yet, because it is blooming expensive. So that's another thing that I constantly get asked. And another thing is, people always assume that I've been given this opportunity. I've not been given this opportunity. I have not. Okay, so I built this from scratch, yeah? I started my teaching career from scratch. At 13, I asked if I could be an assistant in a class. If you don't ask, you don't get. It's as simple as, you know, ask nicely, be kind about the situation. If you don't get anything, that's fine, move on, you know, ask somebody else. So that's where it all started, you know, I asked, and then I was lucky enough to be granted the teaching assistant position, and then again at the theatre school. However, this opportunity, so my company, I was not given this opportunity, I was not handed it on a plate, you know. I worked so hard over these past few months to get it up to where I want it to be at this moment in time. I know it's not going to take off straight away, you know, and have hundreds of people wanting to come, but I'm happy with the select few students that I have, and that I can work with these girls and have a laugh at the same time, you know. I created all the logos myself. I obviously wrote all the dance descriptions and everything myself. I asked the place where I hire if I could hire it. I created the Instagram page myself. I contacted people myself asking if they would like to join, and I posted non-stop in April, May, June, July about my classes to get as many people involved as possible, because I want to inspire as many people as possible, you know. I don't want to just inspire 2 people. I want to inspire 200. So yeah, I've done everything myself. You don't need to be given a lump sum of money. You don't need to be given anything at all to start something like this. You need to believe in yourself deep down that you can make it work, and you also need to persevere with it, even if in one class you only have 5 girls. Because at the moment I do have some classes that only have 4 or 5 girls in, because others don't like that style, which is fine. Like, but I'm still going to persevere, and I'm still going to make those 4 girls happy by continuing in the class. So yeah, you don't need to be given an opportunity. You need to create it yourself, and you need to think of ways to get your word out there. So I only use Instagram really and Facebook for my classes, but in the future hopefully I will be able to put it in newspapers and in shop windows and stuff like that, but right now it's not really the right time, as obviously I am doing a showcase and we are starting to clean the numbers now, so it's no point people really coming and joining in, because they'll just get completely confused and stressed. But that will hopefully be something that I'll be looking into in January. The only money that you need to create this is literally the room hire for your first ever class. And that can be between £10 and £20. So you can literally fundraise that. Like, it's really not hard to make that money yourself to be able to afford to book the room. And then once you get people coming, then that's fine, because the room hire will then be covered. So yeah, a couple of top tips that I'm going to give you are, when looking for a room, look for somewhere that's cheap, but also look for somewhere that is nice. Because I know as a dancer myself, if I was to go to a class that was in a disgusting, dirty studio, I would not want to return. So I was quite lucky. I managed to find the cheapest room, and it's really, really lovely. It's really bright and airy, there's lots of space, and it's just perfect. Another tip is, obviously, you need to find somewhere in your local town where people are going to be able to travel to. So my age range that I teach is between 10 and upwards, really. It used to be 12, but I've had a few little ones recently, which has been really lovely. So they obviously need to make their own way usually. Like, parents don't tend to drop you places when you're that old. I'm talking like when you're like 15. So I made sure that there were bus routes, I made sure that there were trains available and nearby, and I made sure that it was walking distance to a lot of places, and that there's a car park and stuff. And I think that is very important too, because you want a place where people can travel to and it not be a problem. Another thing is, make sure the time of your class is a good time. So I did 5 till 6, I think. So everybody's out of school, they can go home quickly, get changed and then come. Don't make people wait for hours and hours and hours after school, because they just won't want to come out again. Likewise, don't make it at 4 o'clock when people have literally half an hour to get there. So that's another thing to think about. Lastly, other things to think about are, will you have to have a speaker and stuff? I'm lucky enough that the place that I hire has a speaker, and I can use the speaker. I get given a speaker, a fan, little bits and bobs like that. So when looking for room hire, look for places like that. And I think that's about it really. That's kind of how I've built this up. I've also been doing a couple of private lessons over summer, and smaller classes as well, and I'm also expanding to another day now. I feel like it's important to go steady and slow. So I've been thinking for a while now that I want to expand and do another day, because obviously I'm doing show work, so I've decided to add in Mondays now too. So in December, every Monday up until Christmas, there is a class that people can go to. And then hopefully in February, after the showcase is finished, I'll be able to continue and do that. And make it a proper thing, so do Mondays and Tuesdays. I've also been planning a lot of workshops. Workshops is great, people love workshops, I love workshops, and they're just a load of fun. And the room that I have currently I can only really have for an hour and a half max, whereas workshops I like to be 2 hours kind of, so the students have enough time to like really enjoy themselves and enough time to like chill and not rush through things. So I've got them coming up in February half term, which is very excited, so keep your eyes out for those. And I'm also planning workshops for schools. So as I am self-employed, I do work for myself, and my company is PS Dance. So that is obviously, people always ask me, is it a dance school? It's not a dance school, I'd say, it's more like a dance company, but then again I'm teaching them, so I don't really know. But with PS Dance, so just myself, I am starting to do mental health workshops in schools, which is very exciting. I've got my first one in a couple of weeks, and I think the moral of this is, if you don't ask, you don't get. And if you don't kind of give yourself the opportunity, you will never be given an opportunity like this. So just go for it, you know. Plan, plan, plan. Know what people want and get on it. That's all I'm going to say. I hope this has been helpful and has given you a bit more of an understanding of kind of my teaching journey. If it did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, as I'd really, really like to know. And also don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!